My name is Amy Barnes, and I'm a deaf and hard of hearing Uber driver. One of the toughest things is when passengers in back, they want those custom directions. And they usually talk in a low mumble, or they usually wait until you're on the intersection and need to make a turn. And you're not anticipating going left, but you're in the right-hand lane. So passenger communication with the deaf and hard of hearing, I would say, is the biggest obstacle. In fact, that's part of why we as drivers get discriminated against. And you'll see it when the ping shows up and you accept the call and then suddenly it's canceled. I've been driving for a year and a half. My Uber rating is a 4.84, which is good enough that I get VIP rides all the time. I get people who they wanna sit in back, but they want to tell me how to drive. Problem is, I can't hear. So when I get these people and they speak very low, it's very frustrating. So it might happen sometimes, you might say the same thing 3 times, 4 times, and I'm not hearing. So when they're on their 4th time, they start yelling. I can't do anything about it. So that's one of the problems of being deaf and hard of hearing, is we get people who sit in back and they want to communicate in a way that we can't understand. I am one of the few people who was raised orally. When I grew up, they basically made me sit down with a recorder and try to hear my voice, and after that, teach me how to speak English the good way. But many people who are deaf, they were not raised orally. They were raised sign. So when people get a signing driver, they may not know, and maybe they can't use the text on the phone. So with that, it's very hard. It's very hard being hard of hearing. My hearing loss is right where the range where people speak, but since I was raised orally, I watch people through my mirror. And I look through my mirror and then I watch people's lips. And not all the deaf and hard of hearing can do that. Well, a big problem is that because I was raised orally, I speak. But my voice is not the same as a speaking person's voice. To be honest, people believe all the time that I'm drunk. So I'm forever basically always having to say, I'm not drunk, I do not drink. And occasionally I might still face the accusation. But Uber, they know that the deaf and hard of hearing, they sometimes have problems with the voice. I like the freedom. Driving for Uber is one of the very few jobs that I can do and truly feel free to be myself. I actually got into driving for Uber because I had witnessed a DUI death, and I now drive at night, hopefully to save drunk people's lives. I mean, it broke my heart to watch basically a child, a four-year-old child, die. And that did not need to happen. The driver, they were drunk, and they got off maybe 6 months in jail. I'm just disgusted with it. And I decided to go out and actually do something. I wanted to do something to help people. We can do the job. So please don't discriminate. Just because you see a person signing does not mean, oh, they can't do the job. We have machinery. I use earphones plugged in to use the phone. I use the volume, I jack it up, I can use the phone. The deaf people, they have a very hard time applying for work. So I ask that we be accepted into society, just the same as speaking people. Because we're not deaf and dumb, we can do the job, we just want to live.